that's the spirit.
We'll try and make you dirty by the end of the day.
You were doing a bit of wheel spinning there, I thought, Alan.
That's exactly right, yes.
Was that intentional or...?
Well, yeah, because I was on a slight bank, slightly down on my offside, so I was initially braking this wheel from the fiddle brakes to try and put the grip to the other wheel. Then I swapped it over to try and make this wheel drive instead of the other one, but it didn't work.
It didn't work. Your fiddle brakes, I mean, that's pretty technical stuff, isn't it?
It is,
How does
yeah.
that work?
You've got the two brake levers, and individually they brake either of the back wheels independently. So that if I want to brake one wheel or turn the car sharply, I can pull up this brake, turn the steering wheel to that direction. That brakes this wheel, puts all the drive to the other wheel, and allows me to turn sharply, or it allows me to stop a spinning wheel when I'm on a gradient.
It's a bit like playing a Wurlitzer organ or something, isn't it?
It's worse than that. It's difficult to remember which one to pull.
These are today's rookies, Andy and Ed, who are complete novices to the sport.
I'm told that this is your very first sporting trial, is that right?
It is, it is. We bought a car last week in Carlisle. We spent the week rebuilding it and we're here today.
What sort of an engine's this got then?
It's got a Honda. It's got a Honda Triumph Acclaim engine, 1330 apparently.
Now, you've done 3 or 4 tests this morning. How are you getting on?
It started off probably better than it is at the moment. I think we're getting advice from everywhere and none of it's working. This seems to take a lot to come to grips with.
Yeah, I've been told by the champion that you need about 25 years of this to be good.
Yeah, everyone has said it'll be 4 years before you get up a hill. I hope it's not going to be that long, but it feels like it at the moment.
And I see you've got 2 numbers on the front there. I mean, you're sharing the car.
We're double entered. Me and my friend here have gone halves on this low entry motorsport.
All right.
And we're doing a double entry, so I go one, and then somebody comes in the middle, and then we swap round and do it again.
So you've got your own little competition between the 2 of you?
Oh yes, it's like who could come last, I think.
But here's the star man, Ian Wright. He's very much in contention at the moment. But I wonder if Ian might have a bit of a problem here.
Ian, the car appears to be parked up out of action. What's happened?
Yeah, rear differential's gone. Still got drive, but not as much drive as it should. So rather than smash it to smithereens, I've decided to retire.
Now, the diff, I mean, that's a bit of an occupational hazard, I imagine, is it?
The diff's very, very important to a trials car, and we spend a lot of money making them strong. But generally, they are strong. We only break one every few years. But yeah, rather than smash it to pieces, retire gracefully.
So, I mean, our retirement's well known in this sport.
No, generally, it's the cars appear from the outside to have amazing abuse. Lots of engine revs, furious wheel spin.
Yeah.
But generally, a car will, see its driver through the trial.
Oh well, never mind. You can't win them all.
You can't. No.
Oh, well, that was very spectacular. That was good.
Yes. It's a bit of luck, wasn't it? There is a god up there, I see, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's really
Are you
good.
pleased with that?
Yes.
You're looking a little muddier, I must say.
There you are, you see. I said, watch this space. And the jacket off.
There you go, you see.
How are you fixed overall now, do you think?
No, we're usually sort of about in the midfield, but I think during the last few hills we've probably clawed back a little bit towards the front runners. But unfortunately, some of the big, clever, expert guys have broken down through mechanical failure, and they've had to withdraw.
What do you mean, unfortunately? You mean I'm very pleased?
No, we're terribly sorry that they've broken down, and of course it's Ian Wright that's broken down, who is national champion, and we do really feel for him. You know, we've helped him back to the paddock, but and rejoin the race, but no, unfortunately.
Well, you can say you've beaten the national champion now.
So, back to the sporting trial. And while the drivers are lunching, clerk of the course, Bill Cole, is busy modifying the layout of the gates.
Well, you're making a few minor alterations here in the lunchtime, Bill. Do you think it's going to be easier or harder afterwards?
Well, I'm trying to make a different course, first of all, but probably to ease it up a little bit. It's been quite a tough trial so far this morning. Some big scores have been obtained, I think. So I want to make the course easier at the bottom so that some of the novices can get a bit further.
Well, join us after the break and we'll find out. Right, well, the second part of the day has now started, and the leader is Colin Popplewell here. Well done, you're leading.
Yes, thank you.
By how much?
I don't know. Actually, I only know I'm leading.
How long have you been doing this, Colin?
18 years.
Really? So you're getting the hang of it?
I built the first car 18 years ago, and this one is Mark IV.
Oh, so you build your own car?
Yes, I do. Yes, as do a lot of other competitors.
It looks very nice and clean and polished.
It's nicer to work on when you take it home. When you work on it in the evenings, etc. It's just like, it's better. It's my baby. It's my toy.
So, oh, well, let's hope it wins for you today.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you.
Well, Pete and Liz seem to be going from strength to strength, but I'm not sure they've got the hang of coming back down the hill.
Were you meant to reverse through the entire course and knock all the flags down?
I'd have been very happy, actually, if I'd have been able to go up the course as fast as I came down it. I'd have probably been a bit more successful.
When you're bouncing about like this and all the rest of it and going to these funny angles, do you never worry about sort of turning over? Has it ever happened?
Well, we've done it 3 times. We've been in hospital a few times. We've got rebuilt shoulders and broken arms and all sorts of problems, but other than that,
Good Lord.
yes, gives us something to do other than feeding the sheep, doesn't it?
But normally it's a very, very safe sport in saying that it is. There's not very many accidents at all.
What's your work? I mean, are you a farmer?
I've retired recently, and I used to be a firefighter, so I'm a retired fireman.
That's why we've got the red car, is it?
Something similar to that, yes.
and
the bright yellow gear, yeah.
Right, we let the fire engine get going.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Now serious stuff. Colin is defending his lead with some great driving. But he's not the only one behind the steering wheel of his car today.
Colin, who's this driving the leader's car?
This is my daughter's boyfriend.
All right, the protege then.
Yeah, this is his second time in a trials car. Second event.
So don't listen to this. How's he doing?
He's actually doing very well. He's doing very well. But as you know, trialling is exceedingly difficult. After 2 trials, you really don't know what you're doing, even at that point. And it normally takes 2 to 3 years before you become proficient. So it takes a lot of years, a lot of maturity.
So what's the major bit of advice that you're giving him here today?
Getting his pace correct and remembering at what point to use the fiddle brakes to assist the steering. Because as you possibly see, a lot of people will push on in corners on the front end without turning, and that's through not using the fiddle brake enough or early enough. So that's the main thing, really. And
Right.
go for it. Go for it.
What does it feel like having the great master next to you and in his big expensive car?
It's very useful. It's very useful. Daunting a little bit, but no, it's all right. He generally shouts at me and I don't listen, so.
Now what's this then?
It's a theory.
Plug change?
We have gremlins. We boiled this morning and now we've got some we can't rev now, which doesn't help in these conditions.
Oh.
So we'll change the plugs and see if that helps.
Are they special plugs?
We were just asking whether they should be special plugs. We know nothing. we just finished at 10 o'clock building it last night. We know nothing. Just have to ask these people.
So how are you getting on your very first event?
Oh, it's all right, really. Apart from we missed we didn't quite complete the first thing this morning because we boiled.
Oh, right.
And we had to go down to the stream to get water, which didn't help really.
So you're pretty low down the pecking order, are you then?
I should imagine, but somebody's already blown up, so I don't think we're last. If we go the distance, we're not last. That's all we can hope for.
Well, I better let you get on.
And while the rookies sort out their problems, let's find out what's been happening on our Rainforest Challenge.
Right, the last hill of the day, Colin. What do you think of it?
It's a difficult one. It's not easy at all.
Did you notice that nasty thorn tree on the corner there?
Thankfully, when we went round it last round, we were about 1 metre above it, so it wasn't a problem. So I've got to get the right line again.
I thought you are again. Right, fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Colin's halfway through now, with no problems. But oh, he's clipped gate 5. That could change things.
What do I say about that then?
The car jumped up. I hit the wrong bump. It jumped up onto the marker. That's the end of the section.
So
Never mind, 5. I dropped it.
5.
Yeah.
So could that be crucial in your score for the lead?
We're second place now, I would guess. It depends on what Paul does on his climb now. It's all up to Paul.
Well, we're going to have a look. Let's wait for him. Colin, now this is your big rival now, Paul, and he could beat you.
This is the critical one.
Just Colin, say what's happening there?
He's good around the top. He's hit the. I'm not sure if it. I'm not sure.
Wheel.
It could be the twigs. Otherwise, the marshal would have stopped him. He's past where I got to. He's made it. He's made it. So, yeah, I think he hit the twigs there, and that just rattled the marker.
And is that allowable?
That's allowable, yes. If you just hit twigs, that's fine. You mustn't actually come into contact with a marker post yourself. So, yeah, the marshal would have stopped him otherwise. He would have known.
Really? So it looks as though he got to clear through.
Yeah, I think there's every possibility he's got first place. Sail again.
What sort of car's he driving?
A Cap.
Oh, that's one of yours?
That's one of mine.
Oh, so you're not too worried then?
No, I'm not. We are best of friends. We actually make the cars together. We're best of friends, but we're the worst of enemies on section.
Of course.
Of course, how it should be.
Meanwhile, it looks as though the fire engine's in a spot of bother.
What's happening here then, if I need to ask?
Well, I think this looks actually, Tony, very much like a puncher. You remember those, don't you, Tony?
At this late stage of the day.
There's one hill to go.
Yeah.
I think when you saw me before, I've got problems on the first hill and didn't get up it. Now on the last hill, we've got a puncture. Yeah. Occupational hazard. Of course, the next thing we've got to do is that not a lot of people know, but we generally run at like somewhere about 1.5 to 2 pound per square inch on the tyre.
Do you get many punctures on this sport?
We would generally, you know, it's not unusual to get 2 or 3 punctures because you're running all the time with such low pressures.
Liz there seems to be working hard. Do you have a little sort of synchronised sort of practice for these emergency pit stops?
That's right. In fact, the sun's out at the moment. When it's raining, it's like synchronised swimming, actually. Well, that looks about it.
Okay, you're at the right pressure.
We'll go for gold.
So, on their last hill, Pete and Liz finish with a clear round, earning them a very respectable 5th place overall. Meanwhile, Colin congratulates the winner, Paul Price, whilst having to settle for 3rd place himself. Colin's protégé, though, won a medal as best novice overall. And how about our 2 rookies? Well, they were right about coming last, but at least they finished.
Well, this trial's been a great day's sport and we've seen all sorts of action, but I've got a theory. I reckon that the bouncer is more important than the driver. Now then, Peter, do you think you've got enough ballast here?
Well, I think with you, Tony, we've got more than enough ballast.
Oh, thank you.